Welcome to Heath Riles BBQ. On today's episode of Shooting the Q, we're going to be grilling ribeye steaks. One of mine and my wife's favorite dinners is always going to be a steak. We love them. I went to my butcher shop today, down and seen Brad Pierce, a butcher block in South Haven, Mississippi, and he cut me up a couple nice ribeyes. So I'm going to be seasoning them today with my steak bundle that we have available on the website. It's my go-to when we eat steaks. I hope you're ready for it. Now, the first thing we want to do to these steaks is honestly get them seasoned before we light our grill up. We're going to be cooking on our PK 360 with roll oak charcoal. But before I do that, these ribeyes had a little bit of a lip hanging down. All I did was come across and cut them off. The first thing I want to do is get my steak seasoned. I want to use a little bit of olive oil as a binder. And all I'm going to do is rub that olive oil in. And then the first thing I want to do is get a good, nice coat of salt, pepper, garlic with a hint of jalapeno, which is our garlic jalapeno rub. I'm going to come down and layer that on there. Now, I'm going to pat that in. I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side of the steak. Now, this can get a little hot on you if you layer a lot. I like a little kick in my steaks. Now, the second layer I want to use is, of course, my beef rub. Now, my beef rub does have a little bit of cayenne pepper in it for a little bit of pop and other peppers. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a light layer, kind of light to medium coat of beef rub on these steaks. Now, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same thing. Now, what I don't do, I don't usually season the sides of my steak with a garlic jalapeno, but I do come back with a beef rub on the sides and just a light coat for a little bit of color. Now, you can see that I'm seasoning these steaks on a cooling rack just so that excess seasoning drops down below and don't cake up on the pan. It lets good air circulation get around the steaks really well. Now, I just want to let that hang out for a while. The last rub that we're going to use is going to be my pecan rub, but I don't put that on until right before the steaks go on the grill. So now I'm going to get these steaks back in the fridge. I'm going to go ahead and light my grill and get it ready. These steaks are going to sit in the fridge for about 20 minutes while my grill gets hot, and then we'll come back to it. Now, the first thing that we want to do when we go to light our grill is go ahead and light our tumbleweeds right here. These products right here from Roll Oak make it so easy when it comes to lighting a chimney and charcoal. You see I've got my chimney filled up all the way with Roll Oak briquettes, and I just want to set them over it so it gets good and hot. Then I'll pour them in my grill. Now, once I pour the coals out, I'm going to get my GrillGrates on it and let them come up to temp, and we'll be ready to start grilling. Alright, now that our charcoal is really good and hot, we want to go ahead and get it dumped out in the bottom of a cooker and get our GrillGrates on. Now, you can see I've got my fire set up on one side here, and the reason I'm doing that, in case my steaks, when they get the grill marks that I want, I move them over to the other side to finish off. Now I want to slide my GrillGrates on here so they can get hot and warm up so we can get to grilling. Once I get my grates in place here really well, I want to go ahead and get them sprayed down with oil and let them come up to temp. Now I'm going to let my cooker, all the vents run wide open, and I'm going to be checking it, and when my grates get to about 550, 600 degrees, we're going to be ready to start grilling. Alright, now that our steaks have sweated in for about 20 minutes and we've got our grill hot and we're almost ready to go on, I want to take some of my pecan rub. And what I want to do is I want to pick this steak up first, and I want to do just a really light coat. Now, the reason I'm using this pecan rub right here is just to get a little bit of color on it and a little bit of savory note from all the heat that we've put on it with the garlic jalapeno and the beef rub. You can see I'm not putting very much, just a little bit. Now that I've got that set, we're almost ready to go on the grill. So come on around here and I'll show you what we're going to do. Now that we've got our grill here, we want to go ahead. Our GrillGrates are good and steaming hot. I've got something to check them with, my infrared thermometer. I'm running about 600, 609 right up in the fire zone there. My cool side over here is running about 300 to where it's at. So the first thing I'm going to do is take an onion right here and kind of clean these grates right here just a little bit to kind of ensure that the meat does not stick to the grates. So once I do that, I honestly want to take my steaks right here and go ahead and put them on at an angle. You hear that nice sear that they're getting? Now, once I get them on at an angle and I mash them down, the first thing I want to do is go ahead and start my timer for 2 minutes here. You can see I've started it on my phone. Now I'm going to get the grill lid shut, let it go for 2 minutes, and I'm going to spin them to get those nice diamond marks on them. And we're going to cook them a total of 4 minutes on one side and then flip them. Alright, our alarm just went off. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and get our steaks here. You can see, come under them. And what I want to do is I want to spin that steak that way right there. I'm just doing a full 90 degrees. Now, go ahead and press them down. Now, I want to go ahead, get my 2 minutes started, go ahead and get my grill back shut. Going 4 minutes there, and then we'll flip them over, let them go 4 minutes, and then we're going to check them with a thermopin and see where they're at. Now, I prefer eating my steaks a little bit on the medium rare side here at home. This is not a contest steak for me, but if I was cooking a contest, an SCA event, I would be using the same seasonings. I would just be shooting for a medium doneness. That's it. Alright, we've had a total cook time about 4 minutes on this side here. So what we want to do is, I'm going to go ahead and get them up. Now, what I'd like to do is take and try to remove some of that where I've had it before. Just a little bit to clean it off. I'm going to go ahead, you can see that steak's got some perfect grill marks on it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing back here. I'm going to pick my brush back up. Try to scoop some of that off. I'm going to go ahead and flip that over and do the same thing here. Now I'm going to mash them down. And I'm going to start my timer over for 2 more minutes. Alright, now we're back for our final twist here. I'm going to go ahead and get this twisted around here. Go ahead and get that and twisted. Now, since I've done that, right now is the time I want to go ahead and check them with my thermopin and kind of see where they're at here. And this steak's sitting at about, what, 97, 95 degrees. And you can see that one's sitting at about 94, 95, the same thing. So, we're going to keep cooking for another 2 minutes. And we're going to see where they're at and maybe move them to the cool side there. Alright, we've had a total cook time of about 8 minutes, 4 minutes per side. So I'm going to come in here now and I want to check my steaks and see where they're at. Let me get this thermopin at a better angle for y'all. Now you can see we're sitting at about 110 degrees there. Well, and about 110 degrees there, 109, 108. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and take these steaks and go ahead and get them off of the hot side here and kind of put them on the cool side. Now, I'm going to let them finish cooking out till they get about 125 degrees and I'm going to pull them off to rest. That's the way we like pulling them and eating them here at home. Alright, we'll be back as soon as they hit that doneness temp. Now our steaks are hitting 124 and 125 degrees. I just checked them. I'm going to go ahead and get them plated up here. And you can see both of them turned out absolutely gorgeous tonight. Alright, now that we've got our steaks off and plated up, what I want to do, I want to take some aluminum foil and kind of tin them here, and I want to let them rest for about 10 minutes before we slice into them. It kind of gives those juices time to reconstitute themselves into the meat, and that's what we're looking for, a juicy bite of grilled ribeye steak off the PK with some Rolo charcoal. I love it. Alright, just to recap about our steaks this evening. We picked up a couple good 1.25 inch ribeyes from our butcher here locally. We then turned around and seasoned them with our garlic jalapeno, our beef rub, and then a little bit of a pecan before they hit the grill. We grilled them on our PK 360. We roll up charcoal on GrillGrates 4 minutes per side for a total of 8 minutes. They were hitting about 100 degrees, 105. We moved them off to the cold zone of the grill and we carried them on up to 124, 125 degrees, and we've let them rest for 10 minutes. Now the moment of reveal, the big truth, knife, fork, time to cut. I'd say that's a pretty good medium ribeye there. Both these steaks are good, and done to my liking. I'd either turn in either one of them on the SCA event. Now, let's go ahead and get cut into one of these right here and taste the tenderness and for taste. I've absolutely been missing the taste of a good ribeye. That, folks, is a really, really good steak. If you like what we're doing here at Heath Riles BBQ, go ahead and subscribe to our weekly newsletter, Shooting the Q. Ring that bell, subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. We hope you like everything that we're doing, and we'll see you next time.